Snowy day in South Dakota, opening Saturday of the FCS playoffs. Getting the party started. A warm welcome inside of the DakotaDome for Drake and South Dakota. Second matchup between these teams this year. Rare rematch in the FCS playoffs. South Dakota won it earlier this year. Drake is the Pioneer League champ, looking to come in here and try to pull off the upset. The goal is to punch a ticket to play Mercer next Saturday, noon Eastern time on ESPN+. A lot of work to do until these teams get there, and it is the most fun time of the year. Postseason football has arrived. Jason Ross Jr. alongside Teoka Jackson fired up for this matchup. Teoka, like we said there, a rare rematch of teams that faced off in the regular season, now in the FCS playoffs. They're in different leagues, so it can happen. South Dakota won that first matchup, but two very different teams now.
No question about it. SDU put it on Drake in that first game by 21 points. Since then, there's been improvement for Drake. They've won 7 out of 8. South Dakota, they come in winning. Who will be the best team in the Dome? We'll find out in just a moment.
When you take a look at these two teams, the offenses I know stand out to you with the two three-headed monsters. Let's start on the Drake side of things.
Well, they've got 2 excellent true freshmen in Logan, Inagwa, and their running back, Nick Herman. As good a true freshman player as you're going to see at this FCS level. And Todd Hughes is a dynamic athlete. Those 29 receptions have been great, but it's what he does with those 29. He is super efficient in that pass game in terms of catching.
South Dakota side, flip it over, same thing. QB, running back, wide receiver, pretty fun trio here.
Yeah, Bauman is really a record-setting quarterback, one of the best they've ever had here in South Dakota. The difference is he's a little more experienced. He's a lot more experienced, actually. He's a senior, and LJ Phillips might be the best FCS running back in all of the country, and Finner gives this offense the balance that every offense craves. He's a big play waiting to happen. These trios of players, 6 total, 2 on 1 on each side, they're going to determine who wins this game.
Well, here we go, Teoka. South Dakota's played in 4 straight one-score games to wrap up their regular season. Drake, the Pioneer League champ, they played in 6 straight one-score games. Do we have a tight one in store today? Zeke Mata to kick it off, Jackson Voth and Isaiah Bragg back to return, and we are underway with 2 seasons on the line. And now the offense for Drake, like you talked about. Logan Inagawa, the freshman from Atlanta, he's had a journey to become the starting QB this year. Didn't think he would be the starter entering the season. Injuries and then climbing his way up the depth chart definitely played a role, but he has more than embraced and earned what he's doing today, starting in his first playoff game.
Starting the season at 5th in the depth chart, there's no way anybody thought Logan would be in the position that he's in now. But like you talked about, some untimely injuries for other guys and taking advantage of opportunities. Inagwa belongs where he is now. Let's see if he can play as well as he's been playing all week, or excuse me, all season, but in the playoffs now.
Flag comes out quickly on this opening play, which is a pitch trying to get the run game started first. Freshman to freshman pitch there, Nick Herman.
The fact that he didn't blow it dead, Jason, thinking it might be a neutral zone infraction here that allowed the play to continue. Or maybe a illegal formation. There you go.
The first time we hear from Corey Hansen, our referee for this first round FCS playoff matchup.
Always very interesting that they don't blow the play dead with that offensive infraction. The only one they don't do pre-snap and don't blow it dead after the snap is the illegal formation. I always find that interesting. But Drake gets off to not a very good start. I mean, this is not where you want to be on the road, getting off schedule with the first play of the game.
Their head coach, Joe Woodley, told us there is a minimal margin for error today on the road. Quick slant route on the cross up to the 29-yard line. Making the reception is Jackson Voth, the guy who had over 500 yards in the season, former walk-on at Kansas State, who transferred to Drake.
Nice job on the slant route, just to see if he can get as much as we can get back to try to get back on schedule. That's a great job of getting 7 to 8 yards on 1st and 15. Now you're in a second and manageable situation. You got to stay away from negative plays if you're Drake all day.
Back-to-back first-round playoff losses for the Bulldogs, trying to get over that hump today. They'll hand it off, and a nice back cut there from Nick Herman. The freshman, you see his burst of speed. Looks like he was slowing down for a second. All of a sudden hits the Jets. Gain of 6 when he needed 5 there, first down.
Well, that's the sign of a good back. slow to the hole with vision, and then burst through it right there. And if this is the first time you've seen this young player, Herman, you're in for a treat. He's got excellent acceleration, as vision, as you saw right there, and his top-end speed is elite for FCS football. See this offense trading off the strength of the zone and making everybody move defensively.
Got some big guys on that left side. They'll fake it there, a little deception, and dump it off. And getting up to about the 44-yard line. Looks like Taj Hughes, who they use in different ways. He lines up as a receiver, but he can play a ton of different positions.
And he does, and he's a touch guy. He's somebody they scheme up touches for him because he is so versatile. They'll line him up in the backfield. They'll run him. He can throw the football. He'll be in the slot. Everywhere is where you'll see number 25, but the ball will find him more often than not.
They get very creative with him in this offense. Won at least 10 to 15 touches today for him. They'll hand it off. More good blocking on that right side. And getting up, breaking a tackle is Menzinger. And he gets inside of the 40. Some more patient running from, it's really a trio. You could even say four backs get involved, but it's working early behind this offensive line.
And they started this season off as running back by committee before Herman kind of took it over. But watch this 5'9" or 5'8" player get kind of behind these blockers. It's hard to find. They're looking for him. He will get behind the blockers, get low, and pick up extra yards. Great job of vision and running there by Metzinger.
Gain of 20 there for Metzinger. You have a South Dakota player down at the 50-yard line. Appears to be R.J. Stewart, one of their key corners, starting at that spot. Limping off. Hope he can come back in pretty quickly here. Plays that boundary corner role, redshirt freshman, who stepped up into a starting role. Right now, this offensive start for Drake. How do you like in the ground game?
I'm loving it, and I love the response, too. Remember, the first play, illegal formation, set them off schedule. They got 8 yards to get them right back on. They have not looked back since. This is the type of start that you need on the road, running the football, play action pass, and bootleg off the established run game. I love it. Once again, moving the formation, Jason, which moves the defense.
That's Hughes in motion again. They give it to him second time. They brought him over on a little deception. Didn't pick up much there, though, that time. Coming over to make the play was Gabe Hardman.
Well, I love how they set the edge. Hardman's the beneficiary of a really good edge set on the corner of this defense. And look at the corner support. Great job by multiple guys. That's what it's going to take to slow this freshman down. You're going to need multiple people getting hatched the football. That was Bane Peterson setting the edge on the left side, playing from his corner position, turning that back inside, and you saw the cavalry coming in black jerseys.
South Dakota was the number 4 seed in the FCS playoffs last year, made it to the semifinals, lost to Montana State. Bringing pressure off the edge. And Inagawa was able to get that pass away, but coming around the corner was Caden Crawford, who's been wreaking havoc all year long.
And it's probably better that Crawford got a hit on Inagawa, because if that ball was more accurate, middle linebacker Gabe Hardman was coming and undercut that route. And watch the hit on the throw from his blind side. Believe me, he felt that pressure, folks. All quarterbacks can feel the pressure coming from the blind side. All the good ones anyway, setting up a third down.
One thing about the DakotaDome, it gets loud on third downs. Inagawa with a dart has Voth. Does he have enough for a first down? Needed 7. Looks like Teoka, they got 8.
Love the route by Voth. He understands exactly where the sticks are, runs a stick route. Voth and Hughes are the guys they like to get the ball to on third down. Excellent job running just enough that if he catches the ball, he can fall forward and get the first. I hate when receivers don't run the routes to the sticks. Smart route by the sophomore Jackson Dolph.
Give it to Nick Herman here. Another patient cut, motoring along to the 20-yard line. Nick Herman, the freshman from Chicago, St. Rita High School. And he appears to be down and banged up after that last run. Guy who had nearly 1,000 yards on the season entering today, 940. He's definitely a chance to hit 1K as a freshman today. But down right now. We'll be back to check on Nick Herman. Hopefully he's okay as he pops up here. The balanced play selection there so far from offensive coordinator Kyle Kemp. We had a fun time talking to him earlier this week. They told us they're going to script about the first 15 plays. Might change. If this is the script so far, it's been a pretty good one that he wrote.
I mean, you stick to whatever it is you're doing. It is working just fine. There's Hughes, the move guy again.
Never know what he's going to do. And they got a jump. Looks like it's on the offensive line.
Ball start. Offense, number 77.
So you mentioned earlier the margin for error is really tight in playoff games, and Joe Woodley, the head coach of Drake, told us no gifts. On offense, gifts are pre-snap penalties and turnovers. They can't afford either of those if you're going to pull off an upset on the road in this dome. You have to be on the screws when it comes to personal discipline and execution.
Another flag comes in. Looks like a false start.
Try to go quick count.
Ball start. Offense, not all 11 players are set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, second down.
I just think as great a drive as you had going, you've given up now 10 yards in penalties just pre-snap. Unforced, meaning there was nothing that the defense did to force the penalties. You're just not on it mentally coming out of a timeout. That's inexcusable.
They brought Menzinger out. They go the opposite way, bobbling it. Unable to haul that in was Hughes.
As you see, they're trying to feed the ball to Hughes, and he's getting open, Jason. He had him in the flat. Logan just led him a little too far outside. They got what they want with the matchup. You get number 25 in space against anybody, and you got to love that matchup if you're the Drake coaching staff. Just missed on it, and now you got 3rd and long, and this place is about to get loud.
And Agawa under pressure. It collapses on him and he goes down. Nathan LaPerry, who comes in on 3rd down specifically to make plays just like that, gets the sack.
That's the transfer from Texas. This starts off as great coverage. They run a game up front, and that is just token pressure because they only rushed 4, but the coverage was so great, and then the pocket collapsed on the young freshman. He couldn't get the ball out.
So now Harry Balke coming on to attempt the field goal. About a 47-yard attempt here. And it went off the upright and in. So first points on the board come by way of a circuitous route off the foot of Harry Balke. And they'll take it on the opening drive, which faced some penalties towards the tail end, but Kyle Kemp, the OC, and head coach Joe Woodley got to like how the opening scripts paid out in terms of how it looks the rest of the way here.
No question about it. And the theme for that whole drive is we beat ourselves. This ball probably would have ended over the goal line, I think is what Joe Woodley is thinking, if we didn't commit the penalties we did. And then I like how Balke came in and made it exciting, but he got points on the board, and that's what you need to do. When you get the field position that you need, you got to change the scoreboards in games like this. You can't come out empty. Obviously, you wanted 6, but you got the other crooked leather in 3. That'll be good enough for right now.
Drake won 17-10 last week over Morehead State, 14-6 the prior week against Dayton, a 7-point loss the week before that, a 5-point win against their rival Butler the week before that. So it's been a run of close shaves to get to this point for the Bulldogs, winning the Pioneer League. And Balke will kick it off. Back to return to Nell Bryant. It gets up to the 25. There's a flag out.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 10. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Gives South Dakota a bit of an advanced start on their opening drive. Aiden Bauman comes out, their experienced QB. A lot of wins in his career, a lot of yards in his career. You see where he ranks in terms of team history. 4 years on campus, 3 years as the full-time starter, and now guiding his team into the postseason where he's comfortable. He knows this stage.
Yeah, and they are led by their run game, but this guy threw for 5 touchdowns a couple of weeks ago against Southern Illinois.
It was a wild 53-51 win. They've had a bye week since then, so they feel really healthy and ready to go on the home turf for this one. Quick dart over the middle, hauled in. Jack Martins able to climb his way through traffic and make that grab.
Yeah, that's a tough grab, too. I like he went up and got it, like you said, under duress, taking a hit and holding the football. Look how calm and cool Aiden is in that pocket, delivers beautifully. A nice, strong catch by Martins.
Jack Martins, one of their captains, 5th-year senior. Just like his QB, Aiden Bauman, those two have an excellent connection. Already up to the 48. Great starting field position. Handed off this time, L.J. Phillips Jr., their key running back. 1,500 yards rushing this year. Tayoka, about 1,000 of those came after contact.
Yeah, he's a special player. And we're talking about just a sophomore. We know that on the other side, we like Nick Herman as a true freshman, and he just has an excellent future ahead of him. Well, so does L.J. Phillips. Just a sophomore, folks. Ran for over 1,500 yards this season. He has a chance, if they go deep enough, to get over 2,000.
When they win, he's really good. That's been the theme this year. They'll pitch it to the 30-year back this time. Trying to squeak through a hole, and does. So some nice patience in the run game being displayed by both of these teams on their opening series.
3rd in the country in rushing, 1,556 yards. He averages 6.2 per carry. And he got a little bit more than that time, but this is what this guy does. If you don't get him to start and restart in the backfield, he is as efficient a runner because he doesn't waste a lot of time, Jason. He sees the hole and he takes it immediately.
One throw on this opening series. They'll go back to the air this time with Bauman able to check it down in a lot of space in front here. They breached the red zone quickly on this drive, flipping it out to Carson Fletcher, the freshman running back this time, getting involved. He's coming off his first career 100-yard game. He gets involved pretty well, too.
Love the bootleg. Watch the play fake. You got to honor it. And then I love the discipline from Bauman because he had a late crosser that he could have tried to fit that ball in, but just take the easy thing. That's one of the best things that Aiden Bauman does. He takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't try to do too much, and often taking what the defense gives him is good enough.
Gain of 18 yards there. You see the red zone scoring, where that ranks in the Missouri Valley Football Conference.
See the pre-snap trade of the tight ends. You'll see this a lot from this offense.
That time it gets blown up in the backfield very quickly. Cole Sigler makes the play.
And you said it, in the backfield quickly. That's what a great get-off and penetration can do. Watch number 95, the left part of your screen, getting upfield. No one blocked him. And a lot of times that will slow an unsure player down. When no one blocks you, you'll see guys chop their feet. Not that time. Sigler got up the field and made the play with confidence to get this offense off schedule.
Sigler, a junior who's been in the Drake program all 3 years of his career. Say that a lot about the names on this defense. We'll pitch it this time back to Phillips, trying to find a crease. Ultimately gets brought down by Ben Wilson, but able to pick up about 5 on the ground there.
You saw this Coyote offense go motion to the wide side of the field, hoping the defense would overreact to the strength change, and then run the pitch into the boundary. Not bad defense, but really tough running there by Phillips. 3rd and long.
You got 2 defenses in this game that really stepped up in the biggest of moments this season. 3rd and 8 here. And Drake defense trying to hold them to a field goal. Bauman a dart over the middle, overthrown and incomplete. So the Drake defense stands tall, just as the South Dakota defense did, kind of backed up in their own red zone.
And if you're, a Coyote fan, you're wondering why was that ball so high? Well, I think he saw the late movement by safety Benjamin Wilson coming across. If he tried to fit that ball in, talking about Bauman, I think Wilson picks that thing off and goes the other way. So he saw the flash of color and realized it's better to throw the ball away and allow our offense, or excuse me, our special teams to come over and try to tie this ball game.
Will Leyland kicks all the field goals under 40 yards for South Dakota. Zeke Mata comes on when it's anything beyond that. Here's Leyland for their short yardage scenarios, and he absolutely drills that. So the teams exchange field goals in each of the first two series. 3-3, Drake and South Dakota, first round of the FCS playoffs on ESPN. Drake and South Dakota trying to punch a ticket to play Mercer next week in the second round of the playoffs. This is a rematch from the regular season, a non-conference game way back on September 20th. Both teams feel like they're much different. That was a 42-21 win for South Dakota. For Drake, that was kind of a turning point. They rattled off 5 straight wins after that loss. They felt like really October 11th against San Diego, a 3-point win there against a perennial good team was a turning point. Went on a run, closed the season out with 2 straight victories. And for South Dakota this year, the tide is a little different. They are hosting first round, but they had a bye last year, made it to the semifinals. They feel like there's a chip on their shoulder as well. And the Drake players we talked to this week say we always have a chip on our shoulder.
I like that. But no, to your point, though, the difference for the Bulldogs especially is Logan Inagawa, because he was his first career start against SDU. This is a tough place to get your first career start. And so he has come miles since then. And then the emergence of Nick Herman, he wasn't really going in those first 4 or so games, and he has been tremendous since. So it's these 2 freshmen that have gotten the experience and begin to play better and better every single week that's really turned the fortunes of this entire team around.
Even after the SDU game, he was still splitting the reps at QB. The following weeks then took over the starting role. They'll keep it on the ground to begin this series with Nick Herman, who got a little dinged up on their opening drive. Good to see him back out there. There's a flag down far side of the field here.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
By my count, and that's 3, maybe 4 pre-snap penalties, which is just really ridiculous because they have played really well offensively in that first drive, and here's your opportunity to do it again, and you're starting the first 15 just like they did in the first drive.
5 total Drake penalties so far for 35 yards already. The last drive got down to the red zone, but then stalled because of the penalties. Inagawa to throw, has Voth trying to create his own space, but got dragged down out on the edge. Open field tackling will be very key today.
Sensational play defensively. My goodness, that's how you react to a smoke screen, multiple defenders around, Nate Ewell and others. But when you throw those screens outside, Jason, you're counting on defenders loafing to the football. And so far, nobody's loafing on that black shirt defense.
Nate Ewell is an incredible story. He actually played for Drake head coach Joe Woodley at Grandview on the NAIA level. Now he's playing against his old coach in the first round of the playoffs. Coming up, making another great tackle there.
Inagawa, this is part of what he does well, attacking the line of scrimmage. But this defense has seen this tape all day and all week and are reacting to this quarterback run as, again, Nate Ewell steps up and makes a huge play. Now, the young freshman, Inagawa, has to be really smart with this football, understanding where the ball is, the down and distance. Don't try to do too much. Take what the defense gives you.
Back-to-back Ewell tackles that backed him up. Looks like we're ready to get a timeout.
This is one of those situations, Jason. This is where we'll see how this young freshman has grown up. I mean, obviously you want to make a play. You want to keep the football in your hands, but understanding the situation, you don't want to put the ball at risk in this area of the field. Obviously, if the play is there to be made, make it. But if not, throwing the football away and punting is not a bad deal. They like to play field position anyway, the Bulldogs, and this might be an opportunity to do it. And here's the question. Will Cal Kemp and company on the offense of the Bulldogs even put it in the young freshman's hands, or will they just simply run the football and play it safe?
Well, the NCAA FCS Championship coverage continues with second-round coverage next Saturday on ESPN+. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships.
Three-man line from the Yotes. They're playing coverage.
Like you said, they'll just play it safe here. Get back to the original line of scrimmage.
I think that's just smart. Just play the field position game. No need to do too much. Just put it in Luke Woodson's hands. He's your co-captain. You know he's not going to do anything silly with the football. Two hands on the ball. Get as much as you can get and allow your punter now to flip the field position.
And Jack Martin's back to return this punt from Sam Bruno. Booming punt. Martin's going to try to return it. Has an angle. Got a block. Here's Martin's inside of the 50. There's a flag down. Might be coming back inside of the 30. He's going to take this, but will it stand is the question mark. Tauka, there were a couple of blocks thrown that were a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But we will see.
My question is, where was the contain from the coverage team of the Bulldogs? Just like in regular scrimmage plays, you got to set an edge.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 4. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be first down, South Dakota, media timeout.
Well, that will be negated, but Martin's an electric part of this offense. Will come out for South Dakota's second series when we come back. All right, Tauka, so the holds will negate what would have been a punt return for a touchdown. You see pretty clear. Watch 3 in white. Tate Proctor is going to get held right
there. It is. Yeah, the left side of your screen, number 4, Jalen Bain Peterson just reaches out and grabs Tate Proctor. And that's a no-no. And I don't know that he had to do it, Jason. I mean, I think the return man had the corner. I think you just let him go. If you see the back of the jersey, don't touch him. I think that would have been a touchdown either way.
Is it me or do guys look faster in a dome?
It's that fast track down there, man.
They're flying
Even
around
you'd be
right
fast
now.
on that. Hard play action.
Bowman was looking deep. Good coverage downfield. Something did open up, though. Climbing the ladder to try to haul that in. Emerging with the catch. Looks like Bose, and he's able to pull it down. Big gain there. Had to wait a little bit, but Bowman can wait. He's a patient senior.
And he can wait because the excellent pass blocking off the hard play action. And Bose is a guy that they've lauded for his blocking. I mean, he is a tremendous blocker, a willing blocker, very unselfish player, but they said he's an emerging receiver. But I love the hard play action by Aiden Bauman, taking his time and finding the open man.
They call him half wide out, half tight end.
Right.
He's like the chameleon out there. Just inside of their own 50. After a gain of 19, Bauman back to work. Bauman back to the air. Back to one-on-one. Oh, it was tipped and incomplete. No flag. Garrison Cauty, one of the top corners in the Pioneer League, was back on the coverage. He is a tough dude playing corner here.
So this is one-on-one. You're throwing a 50-50 ball to your guy. And you're saying, go up and make the play, Fenner. And he's been doing it all year. I like the no call because the grab didn't take place until the ball was touched. I'm cool with that. That's the right no call by the officials.
See the numbers for Cauty on the season, 81 tackles. That's a fun matchup to keep an eye on, by the way. Him versus Fenner, because Fenner is the deep ball, go route type guy in this South Dakota offense. So if Cauty's matched up against him, you got a really fun matchup to keep an eye on the rest of the way here. On 2nd and 10, get back to the ground game here, just creeping inside of Drake territory with LJ Phillips.
And that's the downside of being so aggressive on first down. I love the idea, but when you don't hit on it, now you're 2nd and 10. Defensively, you do a good job of holding Phillips to 3 yards. Now this is the situation where this Bulldog defense can get off the field around midfield. And obviously, in this area, though, it wouldn't shock me at all if they turn around and hand the ball back to LG Phillips again. I think that might be your best situation.
The head coach Travis Johansson there for South Dakota. His team's numbers on 3rd down this year. Play clock down to 1. They'll hand it off again. Phillips Jr. trying to cut it upfield. He got really close at an interesting part of the field to possibly make a decision here in the opening quarter. And they're going to move the chains. First down, they gave him enough.
Again, look at the vision and the bounce outside. And watch the toughness, understanding I can't keep going outside. I got to turn this thing up, put my foot in the ground, and try to get this first down. And there's a reason why this guy was named a finalist for the Walton Payton Award, Jason. I mean, he's one of the best players in America. And he's tough, too. 5'9", 225, short, but not small.
Third-year player came in behind guys in front of him when he was initially here, worked his way up that depth chart. Now he flips it out, and it's a catch from L.J. Phillips Jr. That'll most likely end the quarter as he gets wrapped up by Mikey Mangialardi. Fun start. First round FCS playoff matchup between South Dakota and Drake. 2 8-win teams. Drake, the Pioneer Football League champs. South Dakota made it to the semis a season ago. Journeys that started way back in the spring, trying to culminate them by moving on to the second round, but a lot of work to go between these two teams. First round coverage on ESPN. You see Nashville. That's where the journey will culminate for these teams trying to get to the championship this year. So far, 3-3 start between South Dakota and Drake. L.J. Phillips, the back for South Dakota. Solid start for him. And this offense, he and Aiden Bauman have had good balance all year long on the plus side of the 50 for the second time in as many series. Nice little patient cut there from Phillips once again. And a guy who had over 1,500 yards on the season. He tore his ACL in high school at Tioga and had very few offers. He said really nobody wanted him. South Dakota gave him the opportunity. He has been here now, 3rd year on campus, and loving the player that he's become and the man he's become, bouncing back from that injury. His team's got 3rd and very short coming up.
3rd year in his program, like he mentioned, and he waited his turn behind multiple all-conference guys, and now he's a guy that's 4th in the FCS in carries. They lean on him in this offense.
Charles Pierre got injured this year. He would have been a key part of that running back duo. It is putting more carries on Phillips' hands, and he's run with it. Getting up to the 25-yard line there as they creep close to the red zone. Garrison Caudy made the tackle.
Yeah, Caudy, this is a great play. And why do I say that? Because not very many people do this right here. One-on-one open field tackle on L.J. Phillips. I mean, that is a really good job by Caudy, being in balance and wrapping his arms, because number 24 is a tough tackle, folks. And they call Garrison Caudy, they call him the jump guard dog on that corner of that defense.
Back to Phillips. They keep going with what's working right now, and he ran over a man to get to the 11.
See what I mean? And Mickey Mangialardi, he understands it. And I told you, look, he's 5'9", that's short, but he's not small, 225 pounds. And he has vision and power. Beautiful job. And look, they got him down, but falling forward for a couple extra, which is very dehumanizing for a defense when you can continue to fall forward play after play, and they give him a much-needed rest. But I guarantee you, folks, he won't be out very long.
Pickup of 9 on that last carry. Fletcher's going to come in to give him the breather. They'll give it to Reed Watkins on the carry, and he pushes the pile for another first down.
So at this point, I think it's important to show some love to this offensive line, because they are doing a really good job of moving people up front and creating lanes, not just for Phillips, but also for Watkins. And you got the freshman Carson Fletcher, he'll be in there as well. But this offensive line is very, very good. They've been banged up, but now they're finally healthy and deep as well.
Got 3 seniors from the center spot all the way to the left side.
One-on-one coverage at the bottom of your screen.
That's Lorenzo Fenner looking opposite way, though. Now Bauman's going to keep it and just scoot out of bounds.
Yeah, excellent pressure there from that defensive front. When you can get pressure like that and move Aiden Bauman off his spot, the percentage of defensive being successful in that play go way up. This is a pocket passer. He can scramble and evade and pick up free yardage, but he's not going to be thought of as a runner. He's somebody that's going to manipulate the pocket and beat you downfield with his arm and vision, and that time the rush made him uncomfortable.
Controls the game so well. That's been his theme all year. They'll hand it off, and it is Fletcher this time. Getting just inside of the 10. This is a South Dakota group that got off to an 0-2 start this year, losing to Iowa State and Lamar, again after making it to the semis last year in the FCS playoffs. Some fans were tempted to hit the panic button, and they beat Northern Colorado by 7 week 3. They felt like the 53-51 win a couple of weeks ago against Southern Illinois to close out the season epitomized their comeback and resilience this year. Right now, looking in control in this run game, kind of reminiscent of the matchup between these teams earlier this season.
South Dakota's been great in the red zone all year, one of the best in FCS, ranking in the top 20.
That was Martins in motion. Bauman looking his way. Has Martins. He can get a first down here without getting a touchdown. There's a flag that comes out.
It's a great job by Mangialardi getting where he needed to be, having his responsibility and making a play.
Pass interference. Offense, number 1. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Got Lorenzo Fenner on the outside. Kind of almost looks like a pick here.
Yeah, and the offense would say this is a rub route. It's not a pick. Yeah, I don't like the call. That's to me, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. That's a terrible call. You're going to tell me he picked who? I mean, first of all, the defender had no responsibility on the intended receiver, and Fenner's just running a route. I think that's a terrible call. That, you know, in order to call that, you have to make it obvious that you have no intention of running a real route, in my opinion. Obviously, you don't want to see a receiver making contact, but things happen downfield. I didn't see him initiating anything egregious. I just think that was a bad call.
Bauman wants the end zone, going to retry it. Adjusting and making a spectacular grab was Fenner.
So this is good versus good, Jason. That's our guy, Garrison Caudy. But I think Fenner was upset at the play before. He said, I owe my offense some. And that's just a 50-50 ball, beautiful placement, where only his guy can make the play on the outside away from the diving Caudy. What an excellent play by Lorenzo Fenner.
He's their guy they like in one-on-one situations. Deep balls didn't hit him earlier. Caudy won the first round of the matchup when they went deep. But this time, Fenner takes round 2 and puts the first touchdown of the day on the board. Will Leyland on for the extra point. So Tioka, Lorenzo Fenner, nearly 800 yards in the season, add another touchdown to his totals here.
He's an elite goal ball receiver with excellent body control. You don't believe me? Just watch the video. Great job by Fenner, touchdown, SDU.
See Travis Johansson there. His team marches down and scores the first touchdown of the day. He knows the man on the other side very well, Joe Woodley. They were both on the Grandview staff together on the NAI level in Iowa. We're actually both coordinators one of the years on those staff from 2013 to 2018. They were both in the Grandview staff together. They text on a weekly basis. They were kind of in shock when they found out during the selection show that they'd be going up against each other. Not as many texts this week, but their families are great friends. They catch up all the time with each other. They're always rooting for each other. Joe Woodley told us the first game he pops on is South Dakota football when his game wraps up each week in the regular season. So these are two familiar friends who know each other's coaching styles and have spent a lot of time with one another. Travis Johansson pretty hot here after it was Fenner who got called for that pick, essentially. Then they bounced back, of course, to atone for it with the touchdown.
But it doesn't matter. And I don't blame them. If you're not going to allow our receivers to run a route, what are we doing here? So, I mean, you think this doesn't mean a lot to them? You got the 7, but it doesn't matter. The point is, we should be able to make that call without getting a flag.
This team trying to buckle down on defense now. As Inagawa fakes the run, now they'll go to the pass. Not much looking downfield, though. He'll have to keep it with his legs. Hard collision out of bounds. The freshman from Atlanta pops up. Inagawa can do that. His high school ran a triple option. He only had one offer out of high school. That was to Navy. Didn't feel like that was a good fit, so reached out to Drake. And you see there, he's got some toughness, but you don't want to see a ton of that.
No, you don't. I mean, and I like how he got low, though, to try to protect himself. But that's the downside of having a quarterback try to win the play with his legs. There's an upside and a downside. The downside of big hits like that.
In camp, it was his vision downfield that really impressed his coaching staff. And they go to the ground there trying to establish that. Seen a lot of Nick Herman so far, taking the brunt of the carries. Takes another one there. Had a 253-yard game last week.
Personal foul, illegal hand to the face. Defense, number 52, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So I give them a break there as they get Mo Newsom on the illegal hands to the face.
Oh, that's a huge play, because now you went from third and tough for the offense to an automatic first down. Watch the left side or right side of the screen. There it is right there, grabbing the face mask. And listen, things happen as a defensive lineman, especially in the trenches. And sometimes your hands do slide up. But as soon as you feel that face mask, you got to let it go. He actually used it to get the blocker off of him. That's a no-no. Empty.
Inagawa going to keep this time, going up the middle and getting inside of the 50-yard line.
So when the Bulldogs go empty like that, either it's going to be a quick pass or a quarterback run, and they're trying to lighten the box, spread this defense out, get guys leaving the box of the defense in order to create a favorable running position for Inagawa. And that time he picked up 7, and that's exactly what you're looking for. 6, excuse me.
See the balance and play selection so far through the first 8 plays. There were 4 runs, 4 passes. They'll fake it to Herman, keep it with Inagawa, but he gets popped out on the edge. That is Nate Ewell, leading tackler on this defense, coming up to make the play.
Yeah, that's great leveraging of the football, because Ewell is setting the edge, and then you got inside-out defenders. So that's Ewell setting the edge, Nate Dickel coming inside out, and there's just nowhere to run the football. Great job by the Yotes.
Inagawa, poised throw over the middle to Todd Hughes, sliding down for a gain of 15 on the first down.
Yeah, this freshman, he's showing me something here. This is the pressure situation, and here comes the pressure. Does a great job of feeling it and getting that ball out, and that may have been tipped. That's why Todd Hughes has to go down and dig it out. Great concentration by Hughes.
He's a big third down guy in the offense for Inagawa. Has been all season. Comes up huge again there on the money down. This time they fake it to Hughes. Looking downfield to the sideline. Caught by Jackson Voth. So going to the air, creating balance down to the 22-yard line, moving and grooving once again.
Pillowy, soft hands. Watch Jackson Voth. That's what he's known for. Let's take a look at the route first of all. Runs an out route from the slot. The ball's a little behind him, turns his body, and once it hits those hands of number 11, it's going to stay in him. Really good hands.
Gain of 17 to Voth. Had a gain of 11 on the prior pass play.
I like that Kansas State transfer right there. Good player.
He was a walk-on in Kansas State. Handed off. Nice gap on the left side. Trying to get to it and getting there is the freshman Herman. Chicago native creeping down to the 13-yard line.
I told you about his speed. You see him tack that corner. He got there in a hurry, folks. And it's a good thing that the white line showed up, Sammy sideline, because he doesn't miss tackles. Because if he didn't run out of real estate, it'd be a touchdown. They'd be striking up the band right now.
But what's the mentality for offense coordinator Kyle Kemp?
Don't run out of bounds.
That's right. Their mantra.
He's going to answer.
Practice. Yeah.
You see they took him out, right?
The film, right? The film doesn't lie when you do that. Inagawa rolling out in a groove right now. Going to keep it, get spiraled down. You can still get a first down here without getting a touchdown at the 3. Nice job to come up, make that play, Carter Hooper.
Yeah, Hooper got off the block because that was the right decision by Inagawa. His first and second look at that wide receiver situation was covered. Did a good job of not panicking, taking a long time to make his decision, got upfield, but did not count on Hooper getting off the block and making an outstanding play.
Normally that's Caden Crawford in that spot for the South Dakota defense.
Changing the play at the line.
On the ground, bouncing off a tackle, going to reverse it is Herman. Oh, Tayoka, he slipped one. Can he slip a third? Cannot, but gets inside the 5, reversing field. He's a guy who definitely looks faster on the turf.
No question about it. You better rack him up. Again, this is just a freshman, has not gone through off-season workouts. No wrap-up. Look at that. And just bouncing off. And look at the speed. Man, and Mikey Munn, you showed me something right there. I just did not think you'd be able to make that play. Watch number 12 in black. There's nobody in the screen. Oh, there he is. Great job of tackling a very good back in the open field.
Brings up 1st and goal. And brought Hughes in motion. They'll fake it to him. Bouncing it is Inagawa for the touchdown. Walks in. Now an opportunity to tie this game.
Touchdown Bulldogs.
And this is what a running quarterback brings to an offense. You're going to be +1 in this situation. There aren't enough guys to get all the gaps. And watch the block. Boom, right there by number 5, Jaden Metzinger. And that springs your quarterback, Inagawa, with vision to the outside, and there's nobody home.
That was a great drive. It had everything. Harry Balke coming on to attempt the extra point to tie it. With under 5 to go in the opening half. This was a 7-point game when these teams matched up in the regular season in the final minutes of the first half. We're tied now, 10 apiece. First round of the FCS playoffs. They just went 10 plays, 75 yards, 523 to the house. Postseason has arrived. You're watching the FCS playoffs, first round coverage on ESPN. Jason Ross Jr., Tayoka Jackson with you. Under 5 to go in the second quarter. That drive just had a little bit of everything.
And you got first down conversions by both penalty on the defense, but also timely throws by your freshman quarterback. Really good, tough running by a host of backs. I mean, he had a little bit of everything. Well, that's a missed opportunity there. I mean, all he had to do was step his foot out of bounds and field that pass. Field that kick, and that would have been a penalty. And that's something that the entire sideline was like, step out of bounds first before you catch that ball.
So now another series for Bauman coming out. You see the balance of play selection today for South Dakota. What have you liked about this offense so far today?
Well, I like they've been able to run the football and establish it and then play action pass. This is who they are. So, you know, look, it's a 0-0 ball game. When it's tied up like that, just continue to do what you've been doing. Running the football, play action pass, and see if we can get a big play downfield.
Nice cut back, but it is met. Usually he breaks a couple of tackles. Phillips, J.R. Flood with the initial contact to slow him down and ultimately bring him down.
Oh, this is a guy that you'd like to see make plays in J.R. Flood. He's overcome a lot of personal hardships, and he's a mama's boy, which I am as well, so I appreciate that. But well, his mother's big in his life, and man, he's worked himself into being a really good linebacker and made a tremendous play right there.
We're all mama's boys at heart.
All the good ones, all the good guys are mama's boys. Trust me.
2nd and 7. J.R. Flood, another one of those guys in this Drake defense who's been in the system all 4 years. This ball dangerously floated up. There is contact, Tayoka, and flags do come flying as they wanted Javion Phelps. First time they've targeted him.
Well, it's a shame, too.
Kamani Wilson was on the coverage. 3-year starter.
Great pressure by Korzeniowski, and that's why that ball came out not on time. It was thrown early and flailing because of the pressure. But some late contact drew the flag.
Pass interference. Defense, number 2. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Like you said, how that ball was thrown because of this pressure, kind of a gift here for South Dakota.
Exactly, and so my question is, you see the pressure, creating an error and throw. My question is, was that catchable? And, you know, look, that's close enough. So I'm okay. You can't touch the wide receiver is beyond 5 yards, and especially when the ball's in the air. So I'm okay with that call.
Back to Phillips, establishing the ground game first. They pick up 2 there.
I like the discipline, though. Continue to call the run when you got Phillips as your back. Tim Morrison showing that he is going to be disciplined. He's going to continue to give him his carries. We talked about him talking about Phillips, one of the top guys in FCS, coming into this game with 250 carries. So you got to continue to give him his touches and just continue to check this run defense from Drake.
Well, fake it. We've seen this already. Deep shot, though, the deepest we've seen today. In stride, caught. Tanel Bryant.
Pass complete.
We'll see where they mark him.
He fell inside the 1, Jason.
Just outside of the goal line.
Boy, first of all, this is as beautiful a play-action pass as you'll see from any team in America. Watch the hard play action and the climb of the pocket by Bauman. Beautiful. Steps into the throw. The placement is excellent. Keep your feet. And I'm not sure he didn't. They should take a look at that. I mean, to me, that ball might have got across the plane before he hit the ground.
57 yards, needed 58 for a touchdown.
And I think they're calling timeout, Jason, to force this replay booth, which is a couple doors down from us where we stand, to take a look at this play.
Well, we'll hope they put that energy out in the air and potentially spark a review, like you said. 1st and goal is what it currently sets up, just inside of the 1.
And let's take a look at this. As you see, Tanel losing his feet right there. Now, hand down, he's still going. He's still good. That's where when that shoulder hits as he's turning, where is the tip of the football when either that forearm hits or the shoulder? Whatever hits first, that's when the play is over. This is great. And it's forearm now. Okay, so that's the right call by the official. In fact, he might not even be on the goal line. And still, I don't believe any official review that we've heard of. And I think that they're not reviewing it officially might be good for the Yotes, because this ball might actually be closer to the 1-yard line. Right there, as soon as that forearm hits, that play is down, and I don't think he's right at the goal line. So, great job by the officials, as usual.
1st and goal from the 1.
And they get a favorable spot.
Offense comes back out, 1st and goal. Drake has all 3 timeouts and that 2-minute timeout still to work with if they get the ball back soon here. But there was a jump and a breach in the defensive line.
Flag on the play.
And that's one of those deals. You go on first down because what you're giving up is probably 1.5 millimeters. And so maybe you can jump the
offside
and create a turn.
Defense, number 50. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Gene Blaylock, you know, you really didn't risk very much with trying to guess and jump the count there. Because you never, as an offense, you never go hard count on this area, the goal line, because you're risking giving them 5 yards for nothing. I think you hand this ball to Phillips and don't get cute.
They do exactly what you said.
L.J. Phillips Jr. on the carry.
Touchdown! Just reaches over the goal line, and South Dakota goes back in front.
And this is a mark of a really good offensive line when the defense knows what you're doing and you still execute. You saw multiple Bulldog defenders trying to go up over the top. Sean Allison and others trying to meet Phillips in the backfield. But he just slipped just to the left of those guys coming up over the top and gets just enough to get across the goal line.
Love a sky cam look of a reach over the goal line. South Dakota goes up 17-10. Eerily similar to the first matchup, which was a 7-point game at this stage. However, two different teams, a much bigger stage in the FCS playoffs first round. Had the beautiful sky cam look on that last touchdown for South Dakota. Shout out to Brian running the camera up there, and shout out to all of our crew members away from their families on Thanksgiving weekend. We appreciate all your hard work and everything you do, putting on the shows here, getting the party started with FCS playoffs first round. A 7-point game. What's been a good one so far between South Dakota and Drake. Winner will go on to play Mercer in the second round next Saturday on the portion of the bracket where 3-seed Montana is also located. They're awaiting the winner of South Dakota State and New Hampshire. South Dakota State currently up 21-3 in that one. We got a 7-point differential here. Last time Drake went down, they answered. A couple of different haymakers being thrown from both sides. So far, you got the 2-minute timeout and 3 timeouts for Logan Inagawa. As you see his yards through the air and on the ground so far today. Guy making his first postseason start. Was down on the depth chart, you could say as far as 5th at one point in the spring. Climbed his way up as a way of injuries and just his own pure hard work to earn that role. And he will go to the air. Slant route to Voth is caught. He has been poised.
Yeah, he has, and I like the early down. You see some tempo from this Bulldog offense, but I like the early down throw.
Climbs the pocket, steps up. Tough guy, too. I mentioned he ran a lot of triple option in high school. There was a late hit there, Tayoka. I wonder if that's the call.
So is this personal foul, unnecessary roughness for the late hit, or is this a targeting call? Let's take a look.
That'll be the conversation.
Again, the decision-making, I like the decisiveness from the freshman. That was not a design quarterback run. That's an understanding and feeling that the pocket is breaking down, and I got a rush lane. Green grass, you take the green grass.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Who's as consistent as a captain as you will find. Rare mistake from him here.
Look, I mean, my goodness, guys. What are we doing?
You could also say the way Inagawa was falling,
and he was up until he forced himself down right on the hit. I think that's a terrible call.
So we hit the 2-minute timeout. 7-point game. Logan Inagawa, his first postseason start, should have marched his team down the field again. Two-minute timeout entertainment here for Tayoka Jackson. Ketchup, hot dog, mustard, 100-yard dash. Who you taking?
There's a ringer right there. I'm taking the guy that's outrunning everybody. Look at the mustard. That is not fair, bro. But I know one thing. USD head coach Travis Johansson needs to take a look at this guy, sign him up. I mean, you get a 25-yard win in the condiments race, you can move now.
You see the bracket there, different portion of the bracket. And those games going on right now. Youngstown State all over Yale. Lamar's down 24-0. 7-point differential here. Great field position for Drake, trying to go down the field and tie it. They had excellent balance in their last series. There was 10 plays, 75 yards. Went down the field, put up 6 for the first time. Able to go to the tight end there, Tyler Nedsill, Bozeman, Montana native.
Just being efficient on first down, staying ahead of the chains, understanding that we've got plenty of time. We got the timeouts. We can be quick, but we don't have to be in a hurry.
We talked to Logan Inagawa earlier this week. He told us night and day difference from his first start here earlier this season. You can even see right there the patience, incomplete to Voth. But the way he's able to hang in there and let things unfold. Good coverage downfield that time though from South Dakota.
Patience before making the decision. But a little dicey with his footwork, Jason. I'd like to see him be a little calmer below the waist so that he can set his feet. Because his feet were in the air when he threw the football, that's why it was incomplete. So, I like the decision-making, taking your time. Just be better with your feet. So
And Agawa under pressure, and that is broken up. Looking for his target, R.J. Stewart was able to break it up.
Watch the pocket get hot. That thing is collapsing. Great job there defensively, though, by R.J. Stewart, getting his hand in because he tried to fit it in. There was a spot to put that ball in to get the completion, but R.J. was having nothing of it. I like the complimentary play there, though. The collapsing pocket along with the tight coverage, forcing a punt.
And Jack Martins had a punt return earlier that he took back for a touchdown, but it was nullified due to a holding call. He is an electric returner here with 1:24 to go in the half. A line drive punt to him. Lets that one sail over his head and rolls into the end zone.
So this is a big sequence now for both of these teams, understanding that USD gets the ball to open the second half. So any type of points here would be huge. You already got a 7-point lead. If you can go into the halftime with a 2-score lead and the ball, you're in the driver's seat.
First down and 10, South Dakota on their own 20.
Bowen being his efficient self. You see those numbers. Best part about it, no turnovers. Let's watch him. He's really good in 2 minutes, folks.
They brought Bose in motion. That was the direction they were looking. Instead, it's Fenner who leaked out, made the grab.
How about that dime, though, Jason? Let's take a look at this route. Run the inside. There's the bench route, and look at that ball placement. And look out. Nice job of saving them. How about those hops, though? I wish I could fly like that. But that pass was absolutely gorgeous.
I saw you running the steps up here to the booth earlier today.
Yeah, you saw that, right? Still got it.
Bauman going to dump it off. Fenner had it dangerously tip out of his hands that time. And he's lucky there wasn't a bulldog in the vicinity to try to grab that. Mikey Mangialardi was the closest to it defensively.
Pressure again forced the errant throw, though, because he had him wide open.
See the two head coaches that know each other so well. Travis Johansson for South Dakota, Joe Woodley for Drake. Both coached together at Grandview on the NAI level in Iowa, and now squaring off against each other. Two guys who text on a weekly basis, but going at it today. Bauman dumps it over the middle. Great tackle made promptly by J.R. Flood as he goes to his running back, L.J. Phillips.
Yeah, went through his progressions, didn't try to force the football, hit his check down. Everybody did a good job in that situation.
Clock ticking at 50 seconds. They definitely have a mindset of trying to score here. Third down, though. Had to throw off his back foot again. Contacts. Martins was the intended target. Tommy Williams, the senior from Iowa, on the coverage. And it looks pretty clean from up here. Fans didn't like it. I thought it was clean in real time.
Well, there was some contact. I mean, the question is, was it enough to give the defense an advantage? Watch at the very end right there. I mean, yes, some, you know, but look, I'm okay with that. You know, but if the flag was thrown, I'd have been okay with that as well. I mean, that's one of those, you know, ticky-tack deals where letter of the law, it probably was a PI, but it was nothing near. With that ball placement, it was nothing near, really.
Yeah, Aiden Bauman, you saw the look on his face there. He told us the intensity in a postseason game is do or die. You could see that do or die intensity on his face. Voth back calling for the fair catch at his own 14. So you wonder if Drake, with their 3 timeouts, will try to get aggressive here, with 36 seconds, will go to the locker room.
Yeah, I think the way your team is built in this situation, as well as he played, you still got a true freshman quarterback. Haven't quite gotten the running game to where you want it to be. You're only down 7 points. I think you take this situation and go in the locker room and say, hey, we can be better, folks. We're where we need to be in striking range to take this into the fourth quarter where we play our best. And the Yotes don't necessarily play their best.
Are content to run it here.
Nick Herman, the ball carrier.
Both teams went down, scored in their opening drives. It was a 3-3 start. South Dakota scored a touchdown. Drake answered with 7 of their own, and And South Dakota, the lightest touchdown to go up 17-10. Limping off there, the defensive end, Caden Crawford, who arrived last spring coming over from Iowa. He's got 66 tackles on the season, so hopefully his status moving forward will be positive, but banged up there.
66 tackles from a defensive line is insane, by the way.
Ridiculous.
Let's not gloss over that. Wow.
I know you love that both of these defenses allow their guys to make plays. There's been some plays made offensively, too. This excellent catch from Lorenzo Fenner is the difference right now in this first-round FCS postseason matchup between Drake and South Dakota.
Pasadena, New Year's Day 1934. Stanford is heavily favored to win the Rose Bowl. But the Lions of Columbia run a trick play, KF-79, and it produces the game's only score. It was the fourth appearance and second victory in the Rose Bowl for a team from the Ivy League. That was almost 92 years ago. Since then, no Ivy League team has played in a bowl game, any bowl game, or any postseason game, which is remarkable because the institutions that have given us so many of America's leaders gave us football too. The sport was popularized and for decades dominated by the so-called Ancient Eight. In the beginning, in the second half of the 19th century, football was essentially created by Ivy League players and coaches. Walter Camp, Pop Warner, Amos Alonzo Stagg, John Heisman. They could all be on college football's Mount Rushmore. Their names still familiar, and they were all Ivy Leaguers. From the 1870s up through the 1930s, the Ivy League racked up dozens of national titles. But then, after World War II, the Ivy schools came together and decided to de-emphasize sports, especially football, because they didn't like what they saw as the game's growing importance. Just like that, the Ivies simply withdrew from the national stage in football, even as they allowed their teams in every other sport to compete for championships. And they've won plenty of them.
Cornell. So many kids from the state of Montana. This is their Super Bowl. The best rivalry game, arguably in the college football landscape.
The Grizz-Cat game.
Cat Grizz, all the way.
I mean, C comes before G anyways. I don't know why anyone would call it Grizz-Cat. It's Cat Grizz.
Just tell them to check that overall record. Pretty self-explanatory if you ask me.
You betcha. However one says it, they are guaranteed to anger half of Montana. There are 204 miles of interstate between Missoula and Bozeman. And to the fans of the Montana Grizzlies and Montana State Bobcats, anger is the point in a rivalry that so perfectly divides the state while also so perfectly defining it.
That disdain and that dislike for them is just born in you.
It's small communities where there's people on both sides that are going to argue it probably every day of the year. It's within families that there's people on both sides.
I don't even like going to Missoula, spending much time there. My fiance lives there, so I have to go there a lot more than I wish I did.
As a player, you're not allowed to talk about the game until it's the week of the game. You're not allowed to use Montana in front of their name. The team doesn't stay in Bozeman.
The hotels are too expensive, so no, I don't like to stay in Bozeman.
The most played rivalry west of the Mississippi was first played in 1897. William McKinley was president. Montana had been a state for barely 8 years, and the legal forward pass was still 9 years away. A Montana-sized mountain of malice, equaled in elevation by a pile of memories and moments, like the streak.
It's a lopsided rivalry, and we like keeping it that way.
16 in a row, starting in 1986.
Back to pass. They go for the corner. Touchdown, Montana.
He's got a man in the end zone. Touchdown, Grizzlies.
He's going to the end zone. Touchdown, Montana. 55 yards.
We literally talked about the streak, keeping the streak alive. It was very intense and a lot of pride.
27 seconds left on the clock. They pitch to Kinnaman. He's running to his left. Touchdown, Bobcats. They are going bonkers here in Bozeman.
You didn't want them to be known as the team that ended the streak.
Here is the kick. Chris Hefner, 37 yards. The kick is up, and it is good. The Montana Grizzlies have come back to win this football game, 27-25. The Grizzlies are going nuts on the field. The Bobcats can't believe it.
I was maybe 1 or 2, but I still hear about it today. You know, Travis Lulay going out there as a freshman, winning it, breaking the streak.
15, 10, 5, touchdown Bobcats. It's over. The streak is over. The game is over. And the Bobcats end the streak where it began in Missoula. Oh, baby.
And then Miracle in Missoula, Tucker Yates punching out on the goal line for the Cats to win.
Eastwood did not make it. Ball out. And the Bobcats get it. The Bobcats win the game.
It's something that every single game, every memory, every series, every play sticks in your heart if you're a player that played in it.
Under 20 seconds to go. Kaminsky going up top. Intercepted at the goal line. Missouri Valley Football Conference champions for an 11th time.
For North Dakota State, the FCS playoffs is a rite of passage. For the 16th consecutive season, the Bison are playoff bound. And for the 16th straight year, they'll begin their championship quest on their home field.
No surprise that the Bison are here again. The formula really has not changed for this powerhouse program.
Even in its Division II days, North Dakota State was a force to be reckoned with 5 national championships from 1983 to 1990.
Wide open in the end zone.
But it was nothing like this. Since moving up from Division II in 2004, green and yellow has been the gold standard.
The first FCS title in North Dakota State history.
10 national championships in a 14-year span, including an unprecedented run of 5 straight from 2011 to 2015, building not just a dynasty, but an empire.
The first team in FCS history to win a 7th national championship.
The sign of a dominant program isn't just scoring points and causing turnovers, but withstanding coaching turnover. From Craig Bowl to Chris Kleiman to Matt Entz to Tim Polasek, North Dakota State hasn't missed a beat.
And the North Dakota State dynasty stampedes forward.
And they rarely get beat. The Bison have played in 56 FCS playoff games. Their record, 51-5. And they're once again ready to defend their national championship, something they've successfully done 6 times.
The Dakota dynasty lives on. You're watching the NCAA FCS Championship coverage continuing here on ESPN+. in South Dakota, a snowy day. Luckily inside the DakotaDome, where South Dakota leads Drake 17-10. Getting ready to get this second half underway. Shout out to Brian for the long distance camera shot here. Jason Ross Jr., Tioka Jackson with you. So Tioka, you talked about the trios on these offenses heading into this game. So far, the difference maker is LJ Phillips, Aiden Bauman, and Lorenzo Fenner with that last touchdown catch for South Dakota. The slim separation of 7 points right now.
Yeah, what you saw from the Yotes was their ability to get their running game going and establish their deep play action pass. You have got to make a decision if you're a safety of these Bulldogs. Are you going to help out on this run game or stay back? Now, this is where you want to see Nick Herman and company get their running game established so you can create the same bind for this Yotes defense. The team that is able to establish the run and or continue to do what they're doing efficiently on the run game and then take advantage of it with a deep play action pass will take control of this football game going forward.
See the numbers on the South Dakota trio. Again, Fenner, his catch one-on-one against Caudy, the difference maker right now. And South Dakota going to get the football to begin this second half. So a huge drive, up 7 right away to start off this third quarter.
And if you look at those numbers, that tells me that the Yotes don't have to change anything. Continue to do what we were doing in the first half. Let's just try to do it better because you know Drake's going to raise their intensity because at the end of the day, folks, whoever loses this game is going home. And as much as you like home, you don't want to go home this time of year. Everybody's played this hard to get to Mercer next week.
That's the ticket. These two teams want to punch for the second round next Saturday. South Dakota had the bye last year. This year, they say we're trying to prove ourselves. Not an easy task to handle with this Drake group coming on the road to try to pull off this upset. This kick returnable here. Taking it out is Martins. Electric returner, get a block. Martins past the 40. Trying to beat Caudy down the sideline. He got past him and brought down inside of the 30.
Got down to number 46. For the Bulldogs.
Boy, what a touchdown saving play by Trenton Radloff right there. Beautiful job of blocking and running. First of all, no defender for the first 35 yards or more. And then outruns the other one. Not sure about that effort there by number 91 in white. But the effort by everybody in black jerseys was sensational.
So now a golden opportunity in terms of field position to start this drive. And Phillips couldn't get past Sean Allison, whose name we haven't called a ton today. His dad made the trip. His dad, who coached him since he was in second grade.
Dad, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris taught him how to tackle. And I'm telling you right now, Chris is jumping up and down because that was a beautiful tackle. And like you said, we haven't said his name a lot, but this guy right here, they tell us he embodies everything they want to be in their program in terms of the way you look, in terms of the way you practice, and in terms of the way you perform in the game.
Sean Allison said this group is battle-tested. Early battle, though, here. Opening drive of the third quarter. Backed up in their own territory. Bauman going to fake it. Pressured. Goes down the field. Has Fenner wide open.
That's complete to Lorenzo Fenner. Touchdown, South Dakota.
Last week, Fenner had 6 catches for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns, and many of them look just like this. The hard play action. The defense has to respect it because LJ Phillips is in the backfield, making it look like you're blocking initially and then run the beautiful corner route, and you're literally wide open. The execution was stellar.
Now Leyland on for the extra point. And the first 2-possession lead of this first-round matchup.
That's complimentary football. The big-time kickoff return. Then you get the run game going, and then the play action right off of it. And how about that move? You see that move in the corner route?
Elite.
Woo! But he starts off with his angle, Jason, making it look like he's coming to block the safety. And then just before you make contact, you stick your foot in the ground, give a little head fake, and now you're going to the corner. And if the ball is where it's supposed to be, this is easy money. Football doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple, and they talked about that, talking about this offensive staff for the Yotes, we aren't trying to trick anybody. You're going to know what we're doing. The only thing we're going to do is we're going to change the formation and maybe the personnel package in which we're doing it, but we're running the same plays over and over. That was basic hard play action pass, but ran to perfection.
They like to have their explosive plays come off the run game, and Fenner has been the guy today in the explosive play game. Offensive coordinator Tim Morrison wanted this team to be more vertical when he took over that role. Isaiah Bragg back to return this kick. He will opt to not return it, and now can Drake answer here? They have to this point in the game. But just a minute in, Logan Inagawa finds himself down 2 scores.
And this is where you're in a critical moment in this game, and you got to recognize that both the coaching staff of the Bulldogs and the players, we cannot allow this thing to get away from us. Don't press, but we need our execution to be the best it has been all day.
They'll pitch it patiently to Herman, and he cuts upfield for a gain of 11 there on 1st and 10.
I like the first down call. You got to establish Herman. 6 carries in the first half is simply not enough. Again, you see the explosion. When the guy decides to make his move, it is really electric, and he got out to a slow start. Again, as a true freshman, they weren't counting on him initially. He only averaged 4 carries a game in the first 4 games. After that, he's had no less than 12. So get him the football and allow him to establish the rhythm for this offense.
Slowly built into that starting role and literally running with it since then. There he is once again, like you said, getting him more carries.
When you're down in the first half on the road in the playoffs, you have to now say, okay, what is our identity? Let's go back and lean on our identity. The scoreboard says you can do that and be a running football team. You gave up the first 4 in the first possessions, first score, excuse me, and so now you're down 14. I get it. Plenty of time to play. Reestablish your identity. Set your team up to get in a rhythm offensively and protect your defense.
Got 2 tight ends in there, Shuddy and Scobie, who both come in motion, but they will give it to Hughes. The deception made a man miss, and Hughes gets to midfield. Ultimately brought down by Mikey Munn, who stuck with it on that play.
I used to make plays like this in my backyard growing up as a kid, Jason. Never in real life.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Woo, look at that. That's all it takes. How about that move in the open field to get the first down? You're seeing this now. What are you as an offense? We are Nick Herman, and we are Taj Hughes with touch plays, and then we're Jackson Voth down the field. This is what has made us great all year, all led by your true freshman quarterback pulling the trigger.
You've got Voth at the top of your screen. Inagawa rolling. I think they wanted that, but Inagawa going to have to improvise instead. Picks up 4 there.
Nice job of getting down on the ground, too, to avoid the big hit. 4 yards on first down is good enough. This is how Drake is playing at their best. Being efficient on the first down, not falling behind behind schedule, excuse me, and then staying ahead of the sticks and then converting on 3rd down. This is what it's going to take to bring you back. Obviously, you need the defense to be a little bit better, but first things first, offensively, you need to respond being down 14 points.
Huge drive in this first round matchup. Going back to the ground, pads popping once again down in the field.
You see the true freshman showed me something there. Most young guys don't like to run it up inside and face that heat. A lot of guys, especially with the speed that Herman has, will look to bounce that football, and there was nothing outside. Good job of getting up inside, getting what was there, and setting your offense for a 3rd and manageable.
The carrier this time is Woodson, the senior back, got driven back. Decision time. 4th and about 2.5 coming up here.
A lot of penetration on the right side of that offense, and it was led by Nate Ewell, a linebacker. I like linebackers that aren't afraid to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. You can't run inside zone with that type of penetration. Great job by the Yotes.
Numbers on 4th down this season, second best in the Pioneer League, which they won this year, the Pioneer League champs.
Excuse me, Jason, get Inagawa on the move.
Inagawa gonna roll here. He'll throw it, got it, first down to Voth.
I was so excited to say it, I'm tripping over you, partner, and I'm sorry about that, but as you saw, he stayed in the pocket initially, but then got on the move, and that ability to extend is what uncovered the receiver. His initial move, it's not there. Now Inagawa is moving, and so great job of adjusting there by Voth. All created by Inagawa's ability to extend the play and the intelligence of Voth to uncover late.
They'll go back to the ground here with Herman. Got to the right side, and he is busting off of tackles. Picked up 7 there on first down. So Drake on the verge and looking good on this drive, trying to answer the South Dakota score.
And see, that's unfortunate because he's heating up. He's got to go off because the shoe came off. I have never run out of my shoe. I don't move that fast, Jason. But what you're seeing is the establishment of their identity. That's what we talked about. These 3 guys, Inagawa, Herman, and Hughes, establish those 3 and then make the game easier.
Told you I saw you moving up those stairs earlier today. I think you move pretty fast.
Shoe stayed on, though.
Go to the ground of the Messinger, third back we've seen on this series. There's a flag here. Drake's opening drive of the day stalled around this territory because of flags. This appears to be against South Dakota.
After this is to the goal, first down.
Second time that Mo Newsom has been called for that hands to the face.
Yeah, the first time, okay, you know, it happens. And 2 times, that's a bad trend now. And the question is,
after the penalty,
is he holding the jersey or is he holding the face mask? And because that face mask, look, he's got a hold of that jersey, Jason. And so here, I'm with Mo now, and I'm with head coach Travis Johansson. That hand was in the jersey, in the collar area. That was not illegal use of the hands there. He was being physical.
So now Inagawa gets inside of the 10. Can get a first down here at the 3 without scoring.
So here's the chess match now with Kyle Kemp, the offensive coordinator of the Drake Bulldogs, versus Billy Kirch, the defensive coordinator of the Yotes. It's very important that the Bulldogs get this ball across the goal line. What do you come up with to continue to move the ball forward? I say continue to run the football with Nick Herman.
They do just that, but he gets met pretty quickly. Gabe Hardman, talk about liking those linebackers coming down, was a part of the tackle there.
Nice job of being physical at the point of attack. And we mentioned how simple the offense is of South Dakota. Same thing on the other side with Drake. You know they're going to make this a street fight at the line of scrimmage. Can you respond?
Big spot for the freshman Inagawa. Looking, pressure comes, and he goes down. Maybe lucky to hold on to that football. Caden Crawford came around the edge for his 4th sack this season.
The transfer from Iowa looking like a young LT. Beautiful job of in and out rush. Now watch him try to get that ball out. I love greedy defenders not being satisfied with just a snap. Watch that right arm. I'm looking to get that ball out. I'm looking to create a turnover for my defense. That's a beautiful job there, and give a lot of key to the freshman as you get this shift. Look out here.
Right now, lining up, they've got Woodson ready to take a direct snap. But then coming over in motion is Scobie. Interesting call here. Woodson gonna throw it. They've got the first down, and more inside of the 5. We'll see if they've got enough.
The ruling on the field is the runner is stopped short of the line of gain. First down, South Dakota. Timeout.
Half a yard short, and South Dakota's going to get this back after a gutsy call. So Woodson throws it but it's the South Dakota defense stopping them just shy. So ruling on the field just short of a first down. And we're going to get the verdict here. Watching it back, it looked just short.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It is first down.
So we believe that this was the long snapper.
And Brett Welsing.
Yeah, he started there, and there's the knee down. He needed to get just outside of the 2, and it looks to be about a yard short of that, Jason. So I think that's the right call. And this was really a gutsy call and really good execution. But it's one of those deals, like Mark Jackson used to say, the operation was a success, but the patient died. They did everything right, but you got to give a lot of credit to this Yost defense for stepping up and making a play.
LJ Phillips found a crease. He's past the 20 to the second level. And he's able to slip on a Mangialardi's tackle. Then Caudy ultimately brings him down. Huge run from Phillips, feasting off that momentum from his defense.
What a luxury that you can get an explosive play down near your goal line by just running outside zone, because you have a running back with great vision and explosion through the hole. And that was a touchdown-saving tackle at the end of that. Great job by Caudy getting him down. But, man, this L.J. Phillips is something.
52 yards for Phillips to the Drake 45. And just to piggyback, Tayoka, off the Drake decision to go for it, you like it because it would have still been a 2-score game regardless had they tried to kick a field goal. But now you got to step up on defense here because Bauman is cooking with Fenner in particular. Oh, makes the man miss over on the edge, and then sneaks just inside of the 20. He's still up. Those two, they have a connection that has been going all season long. Fenner over 800 yards on the season now.
Watch the separation that he creates, Jason. Beautiful job of manipulating the corner. He was already off coverage anyway, worried about getting beat deep. But you see a lot of receivers with that type of cushion get sloppy on their out route. If you stay tight on that out route and make sharp cuts, you're going to create a big window, throwing window for a guy like Bauman. He's not going to miss. Flipped the field in a hurry, didn't they?
They did. Phillips still getting a break. Bauman keeps it to the end zone, and that is incomplete. So Drake now with your back against the wall, Tayoka, Caudy gets the pass breakup flag down in the play. We'll see what this is for first.
He had plenty of time, too. Great job by the offensive line of giving him a clean pocket for most of that play. I wondered, was it too clean with a hold? That was outstanding coverage there by our guy Caudy. They called him the junkyard dog. Well, he not just tough, he can cover too.
There is no foul for roughing the passer. The result of the play is an incomplete pass. It's second down.
So we play on.
Yep. If you're Drake here, got to hold him to minimum field goal. Emotionally, how do you bounce back from what just happened?
Well, that's the key, right? I mean, football is going to be about swings of emotion and momentum. You have to do your part. Do your job defensively. Keep them out of the end zone. Give this offense a chance who they show now they can move the football.
Second and 10 from the 21. Great tackle made up the middle. That time by Ronan Poynton, an Iowa native.
Again, watch Poynton get down, boom, get downhill. When you get downhill as a linebacker, you pull linemen off of your defensive linemen so that they no longer can double, but also you fill gaps on the other side of the line of scrimmage. It makes it really tough for the running back to see their cutback lanes.
If you're Drake, you need this stop. 3rd and 8.
Here comes pressure.
They do bring the house. Sets up another one-on-one with Fenner. Oh, he did it again! facing his postseason moment.
He's 6 foot, 185 pounds, but he plays bigger, folks. And if you're Aiden Bowman, you just get the ball up and let your guy make the play. And that was a box out, Jason. You do basketball. You know what boxing out looks like. Right. Now, don't try to box me out. You're going to end up on the floor. But he boxed the defender out, got up and made a play. Nice job.
31-10, South Dakota goes up. It was a 52-yard run from Phillips that set this up. Then Fenner with another touchdown grab in the one-on-one. So looking at this part of the bracket, Youngstown State and Yale looking to get a ticket to Bozeman. I just want to point out that game right now because Youngstown State was up 35-7. Yale has now come back. It's 42-36 with under 3 minutes to go in the fourth. So right now, if you're a Drake fan, you're looking around the FCS playoff bracket and saying this isn't over, Taoka. If you get a touchdown in the final 5 minutes of this third quarter, you can get it to a 2-score game.
That's the key. That's right. And if you understand that USD is minus 48 in fourth quarters over the season, so they give up points in the fourth quarter. And Drake does a great job in the fourth quarter. They're plus 57 against opponents in the fourth quarter. So there is a roadmap to a comeback. You just have to do it right now.
Got to start right here with Logan Inagawa, who we talked to earlier this week. He said, you know, he played in 6 postseason games in high school, but told us this is different. This is a bigger stage. He knows it's new, but he knows he deserves to be here and has settled into this role, but down right now.
And they talked about his poise and his composure. Well, it's super necessary that he leans on those attributes right now. Again, he still can run the football, though.
He's got his guy Todd Hughes on the far side of the field. They look to Voth instead. Voth makes the catch and breaks a tackle before a wrestling move to bring him down by Dewan Lewis.
Well, it starts with the great move on man coverage, getting inside right now. Beautiful job of running the slant. And then he gets a suplex, but holds on to the football. Nice job by Dewan Lewis and others. 2-point takedown. I don't know if you do wrestling. We need to get you to do some wrestling there.
We've done powerlifting. That was kind of a power lift into the air of a player. Now here's a good run on the right side from Herman. I know you've liked him getting involved all day. Definitely can't get away from that, even if the time starts back against the wall. So the NCAA FCS championship coverage continues with second round coverage next week on ESPN Plus. For more info, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. We mentioned how thrilling these playoffs are. You and I had a Lehigh team last season in the first round that went into Richmond at the time, pulled off an upset in a back-and-forth classic. They're seeded this year and have a bye. It is such a fun bracket. You really see it all right now. Yale trying to pull off that comeback, and Drake trying to pull off a comeback too. Inagawa pressured. It's Crawford who got it last time, bringing the pressure, and he just has to throw it away. So Crawford doesn't get a sack, but credit him with disrupting things there. There is a flag out.
I thought his intended receiver got held, Jason. I think this is going to be a pass interference.
It's in that spot.
Went hard play action. Couldn't tell who the receiver was trying to get down the side.
The pass, holding, defense, number 25, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, they caught R.J. Stewart down the sidelines. I think he got fooled by that play action. Again, didn't see the receiver trying to beat him deep, but listen, I'd rather get a holding call, automatic first down, than a touchdown, giving up a touchdown. So, you know, got to be smart. That was a smart play right there by R.J. Stewart.
Inagawa now roaming just inside of the 44, picks up a couple as they keep it on the ground, staying balanced.
I'd just like to see Nick Herman get more carries, though. I mean, I understand that the quarterback's very good at running the football, but give him more carries.
North Dakota right now up on the road against Tennessee Tech. 10-6, tight one in the second half there. Yale scored, by the way, 43-42 with 2:32 to go. Are you kidding me?
Stand up Ivy League.
Right. Inagawa on the roll again. Got hit hard that time by Chris Dixon. So now that sets up third down, and this place is going to get loud. What do you do here if you're Drake?
Well, I think the first thing you have to understand mentally is this is 2-down territory. If I'm the Drake Bulldog coaching staff, I'm thinking we need 2 plays to get 5 yards. So running the football is a very good option. Now, having said that, they line up and empty. Let's see if they shift out of it. If not, the ball's got to come out quick.
They like to look for Voth and Hughes on third down. They go to Hughes, and that gets broken up. Roman Tillman made the play defensively. His first year as a starter. Phenomenal job there on third down.
I thought it was a little high and a little late, Jason. I think this ball could have come out a little quicker right now. And if you're going to be that late, it was a little behind him and a little high. So that's tough. But he's got to clear it. He's upset, but now you got to clear that because you got another opportunity right now to pick up this first down.
Fourth down. Flag comes out.
Disconcerting signals. I mean, that was a quick flag.
Delay of game. Defense, number 5 for clapping. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Kept the ball. What happened there?
We'll try to get an explanation on that.
I mean, usually that's a situation where the ball is marked and a defender either moves the ball backwards, pushes the ball, kicks the ball, does something like that. I didn't see that happening, but that's the only thing I can think right now.
And it changes the event here. A gift on 4th and 5. Fresh set of downs. Like you said, they really need to score this quarter on this drive. Even if it does wind down, this drive feels like a must to finish in the form of a touchdown.
No question. And if you don't score before the end of the quarter, you want to make sure the quarter ends with you in possession in the football and at least in the red zone. Great job of run defense right there by the Yotes, setting up a 2nd and 10 scenario. I'm still not abandoning the run here, Jason.
Fake it to Hughes. Pressure comes. And Agawa gets it away.
Well, he did a great job of dropping the defender with a quick little juke move. Just didn't get enough on the pass. He had a receiver open. It would have been a terrific play by the freshman. Just couldn't get enough on it. So once again, same situation. You don't have to get it all on third down. This is 2-down territory here. And I would love, if they pick up positive yardage, to go with some tempo to finish the drive off to get the first.
Third and 9, and Agawa has space, and he has the first down. Gets inside of the red zone on 3rd and 9, a designed run for their QB who ran a lot of triple option in high school. Freshman comes up big here.
They motion the back out to get everybody's attention. There's no one in the A-gap. You can't have 2 B-gap rushers in the middle of the field like that because it will part like the Red Sea. What a sensational call by Kyle Kemp, the offensive coordinator. The only thing I want to see from Inagawa is to slide at the end of that so you don't take the hit.
First down at the 20. It's Herman on the cutback. Tillman brought him down, but there's a flag right where he made that cut.
Yeah, Carter Cooper got held, just as you said, right when he made that cut. That's why he was able to get to the edge initially. The UConn transfer got held.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty. First down.
He gets the gain of 6.
There's Van der Wolstein on the outside getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar. When you are at the point of attack, the officials are watching you to see if you do anything that impedes the defender illegally. And Nathan got caught there holding. So they're happy to have him back because he's missed 5 weeks, and they feel like they're at their best when he's playing. But that time he hurt his team.
Captain senior trying to prolong his career at left tackle, Van der Wolstein. 1st and 20. Voth tried to readjust to that. Incomplete. Good coverage from R.J. Stewart again. End of the quarter. Feels like a must-score drive for Drake. Latest touchdown from Fenner puts South Dakota up 31-10, trying to get to the second round. You see the top 8 seeds in the FCS playoffs. Montana State is where we are headed next week. Tioka, they're awaiting the winner of this insane Yale-Youngstown State game.
Look at those first 3. I mean, it doesn't really matter what year it is. Generally, you're going to see some sort of combination of North Dakota State, and Montana right up at the top of that thing. It is like clockwork.
Doesn't fail. Ivy League back in this year. The clapping call, by the way, was the disconcerting signal that was the initial 4th down that prolonged this drive that is now at 2nd and 20 from the South Dakota 30. Hughes, who's not a running back, but he can line up as one, kind of acted as one there, and it brings up 3rd and very long in 4-down territory in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that's good defense by the Yotes, because whenever number 25 is in motion, all eyes are on him, and they should be, because they're trying to figure out creative ways to get him the ball, and there's nothing new in there. Now, this is a really tough situation. Again, as I've been saying this whole drive, this is 4-down territory. Now, maybe if you get half of this, you might think about kicking it, but right now, you got to be thinking 4-down territory. Let's see what they come up with. Better protect, though.
Good protection, but the ball was batted, then caught by an offensive lineman.
And he got about 1.5 yards, but in his mind, he had dreams of a thick 6. Now, I don't know why he would, being almost 30 yards out. I'm just telling you, as a former lineman, whenever you get your hands on your ball, your eyes get really big. Great job of getting your hands up and knocking that thing down. How about the catch, though? From a guard? Are you kidding me?
Newsom batted it. Henry caught it.
Great job by Nate Henry. Didn't get very far. Now, when he tells his grandchildren in about 35, 40 years from now, it was one of the greatest runs you've ever seen.
4th and 17. A drive where you really need a touchdown.
If I'm the Yotes, I'm bringing pressure. Get that ball out of his hands.
They got it off with 2 on the play clock. Pressure is coming. Inagawa keeps it alive to the end zone. Entanglement there between the 2 players, but it is incomplete. No flags. Wanted Voth.
A lot of contact in that end zone.
A lot of contact.
Wow.
We'll take another look at it when we come back. And here it is. No call. Wanted Voth. Pretty clean play. South Dakota ball. It's a lot of contact on that last play. Drake trying to march down the field to make it a 2-score game. They do not. South Dakota takes back over here with 13:26 to go. Made it to the semifinals of the FCS playoffs last year. Lost to Montana State. 11 seed this year. Didn't get the bye. And they want to prove to people that they're still amongst the contenders for a national title.
Ball start. Offense, number 6. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
So penalty sets him back here. If you're Drake, of course, you want to get this defense off the field as soon as possible. Yale today saying nothing is impossible. Up 43-42 with 18 seconds left against Youngstown State. They trailed 35-7, and they have officially just won that insane game to punch a ticket to Bozeman next week. So Yale back in the postseason, and they are saying we are not done. And here is L.J. Phillips saying, I'm never done.
Again, what a luxury. If you're the Yotes offense, you're running your 4-minute offense. What does 4-minute offense mean? I've got the lead, it's 4 minutes to go, and I'm trying to shut the door. Well, it's over 13 minutes left to go, but you're up 21 points. And so running that 4-minute offense where you're bleeding the clock, running the football and trying to kill the will of the opponent is all you're trying to do at this point.
22-1 in games in their last 23 when they've outran the opponent. Go to the air here. Balance has been impeccable so far in this second half. Jack Martins, who had a huge kick return at the beginning of this half that sparked a short field and a very quick touchdown for South Dakota to kick it off.
And this is an offensive coordinator who knows you can have it your way. There used to be a fast food slogan that way, have it your way. Well, this is where you are now because the defense has to overreact to any kind of play action fake. And now you got to play with some depth on the outside so they don't run by you. So all the underneath routes are there all day.
Quick throw to the sideline again, but you get out of bounds. Zach Whitty on the catch. Villanova has advanced past Harvard. They'll play Lehigh next week. Lehigh team that last year was on the side of pulling off an upset, beating Richmond in the first round. They're seeded to get the bye this year. Reed Watkins, the running back here, inside of the 30. Excuse me, Carson Fletcher taking the carry that time. Freshman who's also stepped up into this slew of young running backs. He's coming off his first career 100-yard game.
If you're a Bulldog defender, this is obviously the worst place to be in this situation, but you got to find a way to find the emotion and the fight that they've had all year to get back in this ball game. Can I get some penetration, create a negative play, create a turnover, get a tip, get an interception, something within the confines of the defense?
Well, Bauman's just so consistent. That's going to be the issue for Drake's defense. A guy who doesn't make a lot of mistakes finds Phelps that time.
And conventional wisdom is like, why are you putting the ball up? Why are you not using the... Because you have a fifth-year senior at quarterback who knows how to protect the football. Somebody that you've relied on all year. Again, the bench route from the slot, tough to cover. The coverage was there, tight coverage though, but the ball was where it's supposed to be, and these defenders are getting tired.
No pitch it this time, just throwing so many different looks at him. It is Fletcher on the carry inside of the 10.
5'10", 215 from a teenager. Again, another guy who has yet to go through the off-season workout. Feeling good about himself, too, as he should. Fresh legs coming in off the bench. You can now rest Phillips in this situation, up 21 points. But you can feel confident that a guy like Carson Fletcher can move the ball down the field and keeping two hands on the football with ball security.
South Dakota scored on 5 of 6 drives today. The last 2 were touchdowns. Knocking on the door again here. Bauman will play this one safe.
Whoa.
Then got driven into the ground, and officials say that was too much. And it sparks some words after. South Dakota didn't like the end of that. More flags come flying in. 2 Yotes went down.
It's frustration. That's what this is, Jason. Frustration from the Drake Bulldogs. J.R. Flood putting the hammer on the quarterback well after the ball was thrown. That's frustration. Now you might get some offsetting stuff, and it looks like we might have an injury as well, which would be super unfortunate.
That's Bauman finally emerging up. The QB for South Dakota, they get him out of there.
Yeah, he went down hard. I mean, when we see this replay, we're going to see the slam job by, I believe it was J.R. Flood, excuse me. And if what I think I saw is what I saw, I'm not upset at the Coyotes for coming to his defense. You can't put my senior quarterback down like that after the ball was being thrown without some retribution. I don't like personal foul penalties or reactive penalties, but sometimes you got to come in and let your quarterback know we got his back. And watch at the end of this play by Flood, number 7. Okay, now you got to let him go. Watch this. Dumping him hard on his head, the back of his head. And that should have drawn the penalty. In this day and age, back when I played, yeah, that's good football. Today, though, they're looking to protect defenseless players. And after the ball is thrown, the quarterback is a defenseless player, especially if he didn't cross the line of scrimmage, obviously, because it was a legal throw. So you just got to be smart. I understand that you're upset if you're J.R. Flood. This game is not going the way you'd hope. You see the end of your season coming in bright lights like a train. I understand why you're upset, but you got to channel that anger within the confines of legal football. I love how his teammates came to his aid, though, led by the offensive lineman. If you're an offensive lineman worth anything, you're going to come to your quarterback's aid no matter what, and multiple guys did that pretty quickly, so that was good to see. I've seen a situation where a quarterback has been roughed up a little bit and his teammates didn't really exactly fly over. That tells you about what kind of leader he is and how well liked he is in the locker room. Well, that's not an issue for Aiden Bowman, or Bauman, excuse me.
You can feel Bauman's leadership, and we talked to him earlier this week. And here's the call.
There are multiple fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 7. This penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal and result in a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 50. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 53. The distance penalties will cancel. This is both players' first of the game. It will be first down and goal for South Dakota.
Aiden Bauman told us you can't let the moment get you. You can't get caught up in the moment. Flood maybe got caught up here in the emotion, like you said.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And I understand you're trying to make a play that we were talking about before. I got to find a way to make a play. That was just a little bit past where it should have been made. And you could say, hey, well, he didn't know the ball was gone. Well, you know, not knowing that the ball was gone is not a defense in getting a late hit. So it is what it is. And I love hitting the quarterback. Believe me, that's how I made my money. But you got to be smart.
Sets up first and goal after all that. Captain Bauman will hand it off, and the pylon is just short of reach along with flags coming out on the Carson Fletcher run.
Well, I think that might be a hold on whoever was blocking J.I. Flood, because they wanted to make sure they dumped Flood at the end of that deal.
Chess match, an exchange of emotion here. You might be right.
There are fouls by both teams. Holding, offense, number 38. Personal foul, face mask, number 3. The foul's offset. Repeat first down.
So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see if this ball continues to get ran right at Flood. And whoever's blocking him, it's going to be interesting to see. Now, Flood's switching sides. He's going to the top of your screen. Because I guarantee the guys in the black jerseys, they want get back on number 7.
Yeah, if they get this in, they won't be leaving the field quietly either. And Bauman fixed the run to the end zone in the pass game. In the corner, still awaiting the signal. It looks like that was caught. And Bauman says you can chirp all you want. Scoreboard. Martins hold it in. 1-on-1 here.
So they go hard play action again. Max protect. No pressure whatsoever. And you got one guy making a play on the ball. And that's the receiver going up and getting it, making a tough hands catch. It's a great job of Bauman putting the ball up where only his guy can get it. High point in the football.
Leyland's extra point is up and good. Bauman gonna walk off the field with his team up 38-10. Feeling really good right now. Mercer Bears awaiting Drake, South Dakota winner, which right now looks like South Dakota with a commanding 38-10 lead after the last score. Fan base at least has their eyes set on that trip to Mercer next Saturday at noon. Mercer earning that 6th seed this year. Down in Macon, Georgia, awaiting the winner of this one. Mercer went 11-3 this year. And now trying to keep things going this season. 9-2 this year, 8-0 in conference play. 4-1 on the home field. Their 3rd straight appearance in the FCS playoffs.
Got a bye to get rested and healthy, and he kind of nicks sore, what everybody has this time of year. That bye week is invaluable, though, and how you handle it is so critical, because you don't want to come back out rusty. You want to come back out primed for the best performance at home so that you can survive in advance.
Mike Jacobs back-to-back SoCon Coach of the Year. Again, went 11-3 last year, 9-2 this year, unbeaten in conference play. 9-10 to go in this one. Drake needing a miracle. They really needed a touchdown in the drive where they were marching down the field, down 31-10, entering this quarter. Weren't able to punch it in. South Dakota goes down, goes up 38-10 instead. South Dakota, a group that's played 6 straight one-score games, entering today. Comfortability in front has not been a theme in the last 6 weeks, but it is right now as they have controlled this second half. They were coming off a 53-point performance a couple of weeks ago, had a bye week. They felt like that bye week was huge. South Dakota got healthy, felt like they were reset. It was almost as if they somewhat had a bye week today, and the defense continues to step up. Inagawa gets brought down there. LaPerry, who comes down specifically, usually on 3rd down scenarios, to make plays like that with a big sack.
But that was a He-Man sack. Watch LaPerry on the left side of your screen. Gets in, he's locked up, gets off. Now watch him reach out with one hand and pull the freshman down while being blocked. What an outstanding effort play by LaPerry. Transfer from Texas.
The South Dakota team started 0-2 this year, did not hit the panic button. Had a 7-point week 3 win against Northern Colorado. Really turned the tide after that.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
I think when the Bulldogs look back at this game, they're going to say we had too many pre-snap penalties offensively. We were effective when we didn't hurt ourselves, but we hurt ourselves on almost every drive. And many of them they were able to overcome and get first downs, but too many penalty yards on offense there.
Quick throw to Hughes over the middle, wrapped up quickly. It's something about that exchange as well on the last series with J.R. Flood and all the South Dakota players that it feels like right now, even up 38-10, the energy and the feel in the building, it's giving you chills because it's as high as it's ever been. You see Inagawa's numbers in his first career playoff start. He's helped guide this team down the field, have come up short when it comes to putting it in the end zone today outside of their lone touchdown drive back in the opening half. 3rd and 18. That is incomplete.
And again, the pass rush there forced an errant throw. The efficiency hasn't quite been there. This is a guy in Inagawa who came in with just under 70% passing percentage. Again, the pressure here, he feels this pressure, folks, and he's speeding up his clock and speeding up the throw. And so while the Yotes haven't had a ton of sacks, the pressure has been consistent, and that's generally enough to thwart any kind of passing attack from an offense that you're playing against.
LaPerry, Crawford, those guys have been wreaking havoc today. High punt to Martins, who's been wreaking havoc in the special teams game. Had a big momentum play on that kick return at the beginning of the half, and South Dakota hasn't looked back since then. 6:43 away from a ticket to play Mercer in the second round. head coach Travis Johansson in this South Dakota group, 6:43 away from the second round. In the offseason, his group did a lot to try to build up chemistry on a relatively new team when it comes to playing together. Bauman, of course, the steady leader at QB, but they did a lot of different things. They went on hikes together, went to Black Elk Peak, the highest peak east of the Rocky Mountains, hiked that without their phones for 3 days. Coach even said it was hard to not have his phone for 3 days, let alone college student athletes. But the outdoor work in the winter before that, their motto is do the hard things. And today they've made it look relatively easy on the ground. Going with Reed Watkins, there is a flag down. But all those hard things coming together for moments like this on the postseason stage.
When you hear stories like that as we get this call.
Holding. Offense, number 0. 10-yard penalty. First down.
But when you hear stories like that, as you get a really good look at Nevin Cremascully, the backup quarterback, hasn't played a lot this year and only one pass attempt all year, but it's complete, so he's at 100% completion percentage. But when you hear stories like that, you're just reminded of how much of football is not necessarily all X's and O's. It's a people business, Jason, and you got to build relationships within the rank and file because it'll get you through the toughest, darkest parts of the season. And when you do things like that, where you can suffer together, and believe me, when you're this age and you take a phone from somebody at that age, they're suffering. But when they can suffer together, it builds bonds. And when you're in tough situations, you don't start just thinking of yourself, right? When we saw Aiden Bowden getting pushed around at the end of that play by J.R. Flood, his entire group came over to his aid. And it's like a reaction. It's not something you think about. It's just like, look, that's my brother. You know, we bonded together. It's more than just about football. And so I'm going to come to his aid. And that's what you're looking for when you're talking about being together as a football team.
I was afraid for you when you didn't have your phone underneath something over here for about a couple of minutes during the first quarter.
Why did that
3 days?
Why is that making the broadcast
How did 3 days go for you?
Well, that's unfair.
Well, life isn't fair, Erica Jackson. 38-10. They go back to the ground with Reed Watkins. Unfortunately, an injury here over on that side. Looks like Tristan Anderson was able to pop up. But no, then he goes back down.
I don't like the fact that he's pulling at that brace. Let's see if he can walk off under his own. It's a limp off, but not getting any help. It's a tough guy game right here. This game is not for the weak of heart. Senior, Buffalo Grove, Illinois, and you know, you feel for these players that understand coming in, hey, we've got to try to win this game because this might be my last one. And so some of those thoughts are starting to happen for the team in white. You know, this might be the last time, or this is the last time I'm ever going to strap it up.
His head coach Joe Woodley brought it up in our call this week that about 85% of these guys are dinged up right now. But this stage, like you said, possibly the final stage for some of these players. And the postseason, they're battling through it. Anderson with that brace. Wind this play clock down, then just keep it on the ground. And keeping Bauman on the sideline appears for the rest of the game to ensure he stays healthy going into next week against Mercer.
Well, just, you know, again, talking about some of these seniors for Drake playing their last game, you know, they play in the Pioneer League. That's a non-athletic scholarship league, right? And Sean Allison told us, hey, like, some of these guys are paying to play football. Paying to play football. And you want to talk about love of the game and dedication and what this means to those guys. I mean, this is what their life is all about. But the thing is, they go into a great university like Drake, get an education, so they'll have to flip the switch and become a regular citizen. That's a legal play right there.
And Voth was bobbling it a little bit. Went down, and he'll march to the sideline. Came off a bit gimpy. We will step aside. 3:56 to go in the fourth quarter here at Vermillion. The key South Dakota plays in this game.
All three phases.
Yeah, all three phases.
Defense, special teams, and offense.
Braden White, they brought in, they could have redshirted him. It doesn't count towards the redshirt to play in the postseason. They bring him in on special teams. He comes with a big kick return. And then Fenner, you can't say enough about what he did today in the receiving game.
And that's why I love that, though, because you're paying your coaching staff off for playing as a freshman, didn't burn the red shirt. And how about those heroes that we talked about in the open all showing up? Big.
So the ground with Herman, and these are the players you spotlighted in the open. They have lived up to the hype, this offensive trio for South Dakota.
Yeah, I mean, when you are efficient at running the football, check, 132 yards. You got a quarterback who has a tremendous amount of command of the offense and very efficient and doesn't put the ball at risk. Check, 261-yard passing, 4 TDs. And then you got a thriller on the outside that can beat man coverage at will, but that's tough to stop.
Deliver here to Herman in the passing game this time. Out of the backfield. See where they end up marking that, where he went out. Looks to be enough for a first down as you see Rhode Island in a one-score game has advanced to play UC Davis in the late one next Saturday.
I think that's the next level of evolution from the game of Nick Herman, the freshman, outstanding freshman running back for the Bulldogs. Getting him involved in the passing game, getting him in mismatches with that speed as his career moves on is going to be a tremendous asset.
Going to the air, trying to get that out of the air. Shuddy couldn't pluck it down. To your point on Herman and Inagawa, those two attended the same weekend when it came to recruiting when they were both still in high school. Both are freshmen. Both have emerged unexpectedly into starting roles. The sky really is the limit for that duo of Inagawa and Herman if they keep working hard together.
No question about it. And how about that weekend for the Drake Bulldog staff and program to pluck two guys that eventually become starters and stars for your team?
Inagawa emailed Coach Joe Woodley saying he had interest in Drake. Coach responded, and they're glad they responded because, like we said, his ceiling is so high in terms of what he could keep doing.
In this day and age of football now, you got to start thinking, and they've been thinking about it already, how to keep both of these guys on the campus, right? Keep them on the Bulldog campus, because I guarantee you programs are going to come around sniffing to poach, because both of these guys are outstanding and their best football is ahead of them.
You mentioned the unique scenario, Drake being non-athletic scholarship. A lot of the guys, though, go for that Drake degree and stay all 4 years. Throw over the middle, and that is caught on third down. Able to link up with Hank Foley there.
That's another guy who's a really good blocker and who's developing as a receiver. Good job of having some real courage, understanding I'm in the middle in the line of fire and I'm probably going to get hit. And I like the throw, the placement by Inagawa to keep that football away from the defense, forcing his receiver to turn a little bit away from that big hit.
Approaching that 2-minute timeout. They get a play in before it. Inagawa having to scramble, which he has most of the day. As we sneak in under 2 minutes, there is a flag down.
I think you're going to have a holding penalty here, trying to protect your quarterback. But you see the potential from Inagawa. He's really a decisive decision maker. He's a plus athlete. That can really
personal foul.
Defense.
Illegal blindside block. Offense, number 66. 15-yard penalty. First down.
South Dakota 155 away from the second round here on ESPN+. Well, the other team in South Dakota has advanced, South Dakota State. Jackrabbits, and now the Yotes trying to join them.
That's a long, long trip home for New Hampshire. You go on the road and lose 41-3. I've been in a couple situations like that. I'm just telling you right now, that plane is going to be eerily silent.
South Dakota State, just like South Dakota, got to the semifinals last year. Both lost in the semifinals. This is caught, and it is Woodson on the move. He nearly had a South Dakota State national championship last year. Instead, North Dakota State, of course, went on to beat Montana State. 90 seconds left in this one before South Dakota can celebrate and turn the page to Mercer. That is broken up. Good play out on the edge.
Yeah, I thought that flag would come.
Yep.
I think he wrapped with the offside arm. It came from the other side of the field. You like to see that ball, that flag being thrown from the side of the field where the infraction took place, but I think he wrapped the offside arm.
Austin Rosetta, guilty party here.
He's going to knock it down with the play sign. But see that offside arm, that backside arm pulling the shoulder? That's just enough. I mean, he tried to get away with it. There's the reach out for the shoulder right there. And pulling the receiver. See his body turn a little bit? That's all it took. Almost got away with it, though.
That ball is nearly intercepted.
and the reason I'm laughing is because if it wasn't for the pass breakup by DJ Kennard, his teammate has that ball easily and it's going the other way.
Yeah, Kennard wanted the interception himself. Going a little deeper in the depth chart now, subbing in for RJ Stewart. See the pressure they've forced Inagawa to back up and be uncomfortable today.
And I guarantee there was a ton more of, like you said, pressures. They don't show up as sacks, Jason, but they often show up as incomplete passes, hits on the quarterback, and those are things that the quarterback remembers. When you get hits on him, when you pressure him and force him to move off his spot and throw it quicker than he wants, that does psychological damage, especially to a young quarterback. Man, I need to get this ball out because this rush is coming. So it creates incomplete passes down the road even when the pressure's not there.
The South Dakota defense really struggled in the opening half of their last game against Southern Illinois. Again, that was prior to the bye week. Fitting that they're going to finish this one off. They improved significantly in the second half of that game. Looks more like the South Dakota defense you're used to. Carry that momentum over into today and try to hold Drake to 10 points in this first round playoff game. Travis Johansson, who's great friends with Drake head coach Joe Woodley. They texted each other after the bracket came out last week. Both told us a little weird to go up against one of your best friends in the postseason. It's Travis who's going to come out on top today. Not the last time these two will see each other, but the first playoff matchup between two guys who learn the craft with each other, and that is plucked out of the air by DJ Kennard, but there is a flag down with 23 seconds left.
So hard to push the ball down the field in this situation.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty. Sound.
Where the defense is, and everyone else in the stadium knows the ball has to get pushed downfield, and that's DJ Kennard. Again, two hands in the receiver's back. Easy call. He was in great shape to make a play on that ball, but you don't need to push on the receiver to do it. Just stay in position and go high pointed. He did everything right except for push the receiver in the back. So this is just coaching tape for next week. And I guarantee you that Travis Johansson is happy about it. He's got something to yell at his defense about because they play really well.
Inagawa inside of the 10, still competing
Needs to learn how to slide, though.
That's the freshman.
I love the competitiveness. I love the grit and the fight. Never give up. Just slide for me, young fella. Just remember now, you represent, as you see Drake calling timeout, you represent the future of this program. So keep getting these reps, keep fighting. Just slide like that in open field to protect yourself and to protect this offense.
And he's going to be a good future face of this program. Just a true freshman from Atlanta. His first playoff start. You see the numbers there. Helped the team march down the field their first few drives. Only had a touchdown on one of those drives, though. The difference today. But a lot of potential for Inagawa and this group moving forward. And freshman running back Nick Herman, a South Dakota team that has made phenomenal halftime adjustments this season. That's been a key part of the narrative of their year. They are up 21-0 when you count this third and fourth quarter. They've outscored Drake 21-0.
And we talked about how poorly they played all year in terms of point differential in the fourth quarter. Well, you can erase that today. They were minus 48 coming in the fourth quarter of all their fourth quarters combined. Not today.
Yeah, flip the script there to the end zone. Nice, and a late score for Drake. And Jackson Voth, sophomore, former walk-on at Kansas State, who's also going to be a key part of this Drake program moving forward.
So they're going to lose Todd Hughes, number 25, the outstanding Swiss Army knight of this offense, but Jackson Voth will be back, like you said, as a sophomore. Look at the hands. Like we talked about how good his hands are. Strong, nice size hands, and soft. When he gets his hands on it, the play is over.
The Pioneer Football League champion Drake Bulldogs do get some points on the board in the second half. Their third straight postseason appearance after a long drought prior to that. Illinois State will take on the tough task of going to Fargo after the win today.
I've had the pleasure of going to Fargo, and it is a place where road teams go to die for the most part. I mean, you're talking about a very talented team who knows who they are. The Bison is that. And you get in that dome, man, it is. And it's technically not a dome. I forgot the name of it. They call that structure. It's such an old and beautiful and cool setting there in Fargo. But it's technically not a dome. There's another term for it. I know the entire audience is Googling it now because it's compelling to everybody but me, I'm sure. But
great winter town. Like the way it comes together for football each week is phenomenal. So that'll be the destination for Illinois State.
They got their own accent up there in Fargo. You know that, don't you?
What's the movie you wanted me to watch, Fargo?
Yeah, you have yet to do it. You begged me to watch. What movie did you beg me to watch?
Are we going down the film aisle now?
Because it's not fair. I've asked you to watch movies and you won't do it.
The film that Travis Johansson is going to watch back today, he will, for the most part, enjoy. He's taking the headset off.
Was that a segue?
You see how it works there a little bit? You teed me up. We always do tee each other up. 9 seconds left in the fourth. 9 seconds away from playing Mercer in the second round.
Travis has to be happy, though. Again, it's not just the win, it's the way they won. A complete team effort where all phases made plays. They played that complementary football that every coach at every level wants to see from their team.
Victory formation for the 3-year starter, Aiden Bauman.
And listen, if you're a Drake Bulldog fan, fret not. I mean, you've got some outstanding pieces to build on, really young pieces that will get better and better. And this loss will stick in their craw. And usually it's the second opportunities for these young players before you see the best out of them. So the Pioneer League is on notice. The Bulldogs are here to stay.
There's your set bracket for the second round next Saturday. Noon Eastern time on ESPN+. South Dakota going to head on the road to play Mercer. Drake, a great season comes to a close and a bright future begins under their head coach, Joe Woodley.
If you're going to beat the Yotes, you better be ready to play in the trenches the best football game of the year, because they're going to challenge you. And the moment you decide you're going to add guys to the box, they've got big-time receivers that can gash you downfield, and their quarterback is outstanding.
A true thank you to our crew on their Thanksgiving weekend, putting in a lot of hard work to make this show great. Thank you guys in the truck. For Tioka Jackson, I'm Jason Ross Jr. saying so long, just getting the party started in the FCS playoffs. South Dakota will advance.